Good afternoon, everybody. This is Chrisi from Solsticeatr. Today I'm going to be covering the following week of April 22nd till Friday, the overall market. Happy Easter to everyone. I hope you're enjoying your weekend. Let's go over some of the technicals I'd like to show. You can check us out once again at solsticeatr.com. This is the chat room for basically traders, and this is Vulcan Capital Research, especially for broker dealer, for research for pension plans and insurance planning. Let's go over first of all over the Fortune 500 company, the Nasdaq, the Russell, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average. I am looking actually on the daily from last week. If you notice, I had these two little ovals and the gap down since the open. Just let's move a little bit into it. I'm going to remove this oval out of the way because I think still that's the gap where we need to. We reached the prior high, which was around, the 38,100. I said 38,200 was a very critical area. We're still above that area. We're still bullish as far as the overall market is. Since we have not reached the prior high, this was the breakdown of this area, those candles that took us down 1, 2, we consolidated and eventually fell through. We came back and tested that breakout, that breakdown of this area. We're still above it. There's a couple of different technicals, other than looking at the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq alone. We look at the Russell as well as the Dow Jones Industrial Average. The overall market still bullish, but there are some technicals that are broken between the S&P, the Nasdaq, the Russell, and the Dow. What I'm going to do is take the E-mini contract and go over some of the benefits of looking at the ones that are bullish and the ones that are not bullish in order to either say, hey, we're going to continue higher or not. And first of all, I'm going to take this oval out. Let's do this. So you guys can see that little area we filled it. I'm going to put a marker here in a little oval. And remember, this is the combination of those instruments. We're going to make it quite a bit longer so it can last for a couple of days. And this is the area we got to keep an eye on, that 38,200. But the low of this one was 38,366. So 38,350, keep an eye on it. If it comes back and retest it, look for the backside halfway of the 18 SMA in this area to fill if we don't continue higher. Let's go take a look at the Fortune 500 company mini contract. Okay, here it is. Let's just minimize it a little bit. The mini contract, we had cleared this area, that 2900, 2888, 2900. We're having a little issue, to come back to the 2947. The SPX would look like 2941 area. Let's just move into this area here and look at the consolidation. In the last 3 days, the volume the last 2 days picked up. Remember, this was the Wednesday, the first day we had a down move, but we came back and cleared the 2900. As long as we're above the 2900, we're going to be bullish. 2911 areas has been very critical. This is the consolidation of those 5 days, and there's that little gap on the daily. I can show it on the 4-hour, which shows here. This oval is going to be removed. Let's just remove this oval, We're going to move that one to the 50 SMA to keep an eye on that one. That would be very critical area, which would be to the downside in this gap around, the 53 to the 41 area. Keep an eye on it. But since we consolidated, pushed up, came back down, we touched the backside of the smaller channel. If you notice, I have one on the 4-hour. We're looking up. We almost came to it, missed the 18 SMA and pushed higher, and we closed on Thursday. Since it's a long weekend, Eurozone is going to be closed on Monday, as well as Australia, because of the Easter holidays, so they would not be open. So keep an eye, see what Monday holds for us. Once again, the S&P is still bullish above the 2900. We have a weak high and a weak low because we never had a clean bottom or a clean top. So between the 29, 11, 12 area, that's very critical, and the 23, we have a weak top and a weak high. This is the weak top, this is the weak high, We didn't clean the bottom as well. We have a weak bottom. So either way, if we cannot hold the 2900, look for the back side of the 18 SMA and eventually fill that gap, which is between the low of 28.44.50 and 28.40.75. That's my major line. So what we're going to do is move this one out of here, remove this drawing, remove this rectangle. And I'm going to put an oval in this area too, so that would be looking the same as the, the gap that they need to fill. We'll make it long, which is right here. So keep an eye on that area. I know I drew it a little bit off, but that's fine. And this one, we would look for the upside of the upper channel here, just to go over it a little bit to clean the top and come back to the prior high. Remove drawing. And we'll put an oval right in this area here for the high and the 23. I had a 26 area, 23.50, which we looked above on Wednesday and failed from it. We came back in the overnight on Thursday, went as low as 89 and pushed back up to as high as 29.1175 area. So I mean, we are in a critical area on the S&P 500. Let's take a look at the Nasdaq/NQ. This is the Fortune 100 company in the tech and biotech sector. Let's just move from here. We have actually looked above this high. If you look at this high from the prior year, it was 77.28.75, and the high was 77.35.50. So we had looked above, came under, and pushed up. So as far as the Nasdaq is concerned, is still one of the strongest. If you notice this up channel, it never really touched it. We missed it and continued up, and we closed above this candle that brought us down on Wednesday. That Wednesday was still bullish. We had a push in the overnight. We came back and we still closed above the Tuesday candle, and the Thursday candle was very bullish on the Nasdaq. Do we continue and get higher to the above section? So this area, we're going to take that out, remove drawing. We're going to remove this one. Oops. There's the gap here. I'm going to just mark it here for everybody. We're going to make it a little long. Okay, let's just do this. Go from here all the way across so everybody can see it for a couple of days. We'll remove these two areas, remove the oval. So I'm just going over some stuff, just showing you how to look at stuff. This is the 18 SMA and this is the 50 simple moving average. I'm going to mark the 50. I'm going to leave the 18 SMA because that would be critical. If you notice, we are bullish above the 76.06 area, but I think as long as we're above the 76.30 area or 29.50, that's going to be very critical area for the Nasdaq to hold on to. And I think if the market's going to continue higher, this would be the halfway back of this move right here, and the upper channel would be the up section right here. So we're going to mark two sections. I'm going to mark this one a little higher in this area. So I'll have two ovals here. If we cannot hold this and go above the prior high and the Nasdaq loses this channel, look for the 18 SMA. We'll make this a little round ball, so everybody can, we make it a little bit more rounder. And these two would be the upper target, lower target, or the 18 SMA. If the Nasdaq cannot continue higher, look for the first 18 SMA, then halfway back to fill the gap. If not, and this Nasdaq continues above and clears the two double tops, let's call them 7,730 or 28, and we continue higher, we can get to this oval halfway of these two channels, and eventually, 2/3 of it would be about 79.20 area, 15 area to the upside. Let's take a look at the Russell. This is the one I am concerned about, RTY. Let's minimize this one. Let's take the open interest volume added there, edit open interest, because it shows up on all of them. Remove, push apply. This is the open interest. So if you notice, the Russell has been the weakest and the lagger. We couldn't get above here. We still have a lot of distance, from the 1600 or the 1598 to continue all the way up here, because you still, this is the one that brought us down, and this candle, these two, and we consult, we grinded lower. So I'll call this is a down move, and this is a down move, 1, 2, 3, that brought us down, and we came back to that 1600. We haven't been able to clear. Let's take a look at it a little bit closer. Let's zoom in. If you notice, I had this oval, so we're going to remove this, remove drawing. As long as we are below this 15, 78, 80 area is going to be very critical. I'm going to highlight it to the upside so everybody can see. So overlapping that price action. So below the 1580, it's going to be bearish because we touched the 18 and the 50. If there's continuation and then Russell shows a weakness in it, I would consider the backside of the 61 area, because that 50 SMA and the 18 won't hold. We'll hit the 50 and come back to this area. So I'm going to mark this area here, the 61.8. I marked this midpoint area in order to continue higher, and we'll just zoom out. We'll move this one out of here. If we clear the 1600, then this will, give us a little bit more leg room for the Russell to continue higher, and I'll put an oval right here. So this is the area in the Russell. Let's take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average. But remember, the Dow doesn't represent the overall market. Just let's say something about the Russell before I go to the Dow 30. If you notice, the small cap represent the overall market in the USA. If there's not much money going into the large caps such as the Fortune 500 and the Nasdaq 100, and the people are sitting on the sideline, and the Russell is the lagger, if it doesn't come up and clear that 1600, we're going to have a problem in it. And if you notice, the Dow has cleared the three, let's call these three tops. This oval here, we had it before I took it off. If you notice, we came back and touched this area. This high was on that candle 26,562. And this is the candle that just came in. We are at the 600. Did we continue and clear that oval to come back to the prior high in the Dow? Because remember, the Dow has similar such as Apple, it's got Exxon, it's got Boeing in it. Remember, Boeing on their not the earning report, had that 737 liner crash, had caused, I'm just going to jump out and just show you the chart on Boeing. And I'd like to see Boeing a little higher. I did a video over the week, but we'll go over it afterwards. See, it's just the laggers trying to push above this down channel. If it does, it clears this gap. We come up and fill this gap, and I want the 400 to 415 area. Let's just go back over the Dow one more time. YM, this is the Dow. This is why I see there's a little bit weakness in the Dow. Maybe because, it represents part of the weighted in Boeing. If you notice, on Thursday, it had a nice up. It was the strong one out of the whole group. So if the Dow is going to continue and the Nasdaq going to continue, does the S&P 500 follow? And the Russell, since it's the lagger, take him with them? Or everybody's going to say, you know what? The Russell is weak. There's not a lot of opportunity out there. There's a little bit of weakness in the market. Let's take the market back down and move everything back to the other side of the fence. So let's just take a look at a couple of equities. Apple. I'll finish up with gold as well as, oil, AAPL. Let's just minimize this. Come on, load up. Apple's still, grinding above that 202. My line in the sand is about $200 if it's going to stay continuation. Does it get back to the prior area where it fell through, which is this area here? You see it? That's why I have this oval there. That's Apple. Let's take a look at Amazon. Amazon will be reporting this coming week. Keep an eye on Amazon. There's a lot of earning coming up. Remember, I had this oval here. We had this one. We're going to remove that one and move that to the 50 SMA down here. That would be the 50% fib, and that's your 18 SMA. Does it, since it's continuing grinding the Amazon higher and higher, does it come back and clear that top before the earning report, or does it come back below that 1845 area? 1845 is my line on the Amazon to stay bullish. Let's take a look at BABA. BABA has, looked a little bit rounded bottom. It was consolidating, and then Thursday, Friday, that push down, they brought it back up, still above the 185 area. is in 25 cents. I think this is very critical in BABA. If it clear the 188.50, 188.50, I think it will continue higher to about 190. If not, look for the backside of the 18 SMA and the 50 SMA. We'll remove this oval from here, remove oval. This would be the backside of the 50 and that 61.8 on the daily chart. If not, we'll look for BABA to come back over this oval up here. Let's remove this one, remove oval, and we'll put this oval right here. Okay, let's continue. Let's take a look at Facebook. Facebook seems to be going sideways. I think Facebook has a little issue below the 178.45 cents. If it cannot clear that, look for the backside of this breakout back to the 18 SMA and the 50, and that's the 50% fib. I know everybody, it looks like nice and rounded top and flagging up. Facebook has to clear that 178.50 in order to continue go higher. If not, look for the 18 and the 50. We'll just mark the 50 here on there, and you get the 50% fib. And the upside channel, you see it, that other oval. Let's remove this one, remove drawing. And we'll just put that one up here, remove, and we'll put this one here. There we go. Let's take a look at Google. Google still, nicely rounded, cup and handle, broke up. If it's going to continue, look for the prior, those two tops in this area. I'd like to see, Google in the 1260, 1265 area. I hope, the market holds on and Google can continue. If not, you'll come back, reset below the 78% and maybe the 18 SMA. And we'll just move that oval out of here, remove oval. We'll put the oval on the 50, this area, and we'll put one on the 18 SMA. As long as Google above the 1215 area is bullish. Let's take a look at Netflix, NFLX. I think Netflix had reported, Disney had brought it down in the overnight, the report last week. It brought it down and they pushed it back up, and it's halfway through that engulfing candle. This was an engulfing. We went back above, tried to look up, came back in and closed inside that one. Then we pushed up, came back down on Wednesday and Thursday, halfway engulfing. If we can clear the 18 and stay above the 356, because this is a lot of consolidation around the 359 area, 360. If Netflix can clear the 360, I think the upper side target is that resistance, that 378. We'll move that oval to this side. Remove drawing, because everybody's want to beat up on Netflix because Disney's doing much better. That 200 SMA, that DMI, I'm just going to leave it there. The backside would be this area here. If Netflix falls off from the 360 area back here, if not the upside. Let's take a look at Tesla. We'll just go over it very fast. Tesla's still in that down channel on the daily and the weekly, has been touching this weekly up channel. Now with the computer grabbed one in the symmetrical triangle. In order to for Tesla to continue higher, it has to clear the 385. We'll put a marker here. And in order to continue higher to the 200 SMA, the 300 area, 292. If not, look for the backside of this channel. And if this falls, we can come back to this oval right down here in the 350 area. So that's all I'm going to say about Tesla. And let's just show you on the weekly how it looks like. See, this is why, this is the up channel. It's been, a couple of times here it missed it. Here it came up, went down, came back into it, touched it, went up. Still in that down channel cone. Does it continue? Because this is an up channel, 1, 2, 3, and you have a down channel here. This is the halfway of it. Does it continue and clear this area in order for Tesla to continue higher? I think 375 area, 374 area is very critical in Tesla to continue higher. If not, it falls off. Let's just go back to the daily and finish up the other two instruments daily. Let's take a look at XOM, because we were following it. It lost a little bit of its strength, last week Monday. Then you had Tuesday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday down. It still haven't cleared, that 182 area is very critical. 50 to continue higher. We'll just this oval, we'll keep it there, and this one here, the 50 SMA is catching up. If it loses that $80 range. I think it'll come back to 78 before we can get a little nice buy in it. WYNN, that's the WYNN Resort. Oops, WYNN. WYNN Resort did what I expected it to do from a week ago on that push the week before. It's consolidating. Does it lose the 144, 143 area, 142, and go back to the 18 SMA or the 38.2 fib and the 50 to get a nice bounce back up? Because that would be the halfway back of this. Let's just move this oval and put it in the middle. Remove drawing. And I'm just going to put it right in this area. So in order to continue, I would like to see one come back in and go up. If it stays above that 143, 144, look for the upside. This oval would be the upper side. Remove this drawing, and we'll just put this oval right in this area. The downside would be down here below the 61.8. But right now, I'm not going to put it in because I don't think it should come back below the 61.8, and that would be the 50% fib, and we'll just put one right here. Okay, let's take a look at gold. GC. Like I had mentioned to everybody, GC, I always wanted it to look to that 1268.62 area. Unfortunately, it's in a down channel. The fear gauge, because of the Brexit exit, the China tariff and everything, we had tested the first oval. We went under it. We went underneath the 116 SMA. This is a consolidation. We had a low of 1273. If this 1273 holds and we can go back above the 1280, look for the backside of this breakdown, the 1285 to the 1292 area, 95. So I'm going to mark this one with a little bit more rounded oval. To the downside, this oval is no longer valid. I don't think it's going to make it very, very soon unless something comes up dramatic. Remove drawing. And we'll put one on the downside, which is this area here. I'm going to move it to the right, remove drawing, and I'm going to move it right to this area here, which I wanted, gold to be in this area in order for us to purchase it. If this turns, look for the upside here, then the backside of the 38.2 fib, the downside of this channel. If it clears it, if it doesn't, look, come back in. If not, continue to the backside of that 1267, 68 area 62 before we get a bounce. And that's your 200 SMA, by the way, on the daily. A lot of people are bearish on it. I mean, I'm thinking in the 1262 area. Let's take a look at oil, CL. CL, the last week or so has been consolidating, going sideways between the 64.75 area and the 63.25 area. So this is very critical. We have the 18 SMA. We're going to move that one in that down channel. Remove drawing. Remove drawing. Okay. We're going to put an oval here. Whoops. It's going to do something silly. Okay. There we go. We'll put this oval here. This would be on the daily and the 18 SMA in this channel. If we lose it, the 50 SMA would be the backside and the 60 area to purchase. That would be a nice area zone between 60 and 62. If not, and they keep delaying this, we can come back up to the upside of this channel. Remove drawing, and we'll push it up to this area here. So just let's recap on the ES. This is the Fortune 500. Once again, I'm going to go to a 4-hour chart and show you something in it. We'll zoom in. Let's just go in here. Go from here. That looks very clean. Okay, if you notice, this is the gap that we're going to, be eyes on in the 1900, 2900 is very critical. The 12 and the 1175, 12 area is a poor high, from Thursday's action. And on Friday, the week before that, 2350, the day before, which was Wednesday, that 2350 is a poor high, and we have a poor low in the overnight. If we cannot clear the 2900 and continue up to finish up the 23 and fix that top, look for the backside of the 2900. If we fall under it, look for the 88, the 116 SMA, and eventually fill the gap. If not, we continue higher, clear the 47, and clear this up channel to the upside. This is the 4-hour chart, and let's just auto channel it, just show it a little bit. This is in the overnight action, that gray area. That's the average true range, and we are chugging along 1, 2, 3, 4 5, 6. So we have 3 more candles maybe in the overnight to finish the 9-dot squeeze out of the Bollinger Catlett channel. And this continues to the upside because we had, every time, we had down day and push up, down day, push up, down day. That was the only day down, push up day, down, push up, down day, then push up. So it's been kind of like sold off, bought back, sold off, bought back. So let's see what happened. Hope, to see you guys next week at Solsticeatr. Enjoy your weekend, enjoy your Easter Sunday, and take care, everybody. Ciao.